p.m. on Wednesday, November 5th. This is the Telecom Policy Committee, and we are located here at the campus of Department of Public Safety Standards and Training, and we're also running a hybrid meeting. This is a public meeting subject to public meeting law, and it will be digitally recorded. Deliberation of issues will only be conducted by the Telecom Policy Committee members unless permitted by the chair. Remember to always state your name for the record. For cases dealing with denial or revocation, only information contained in the staff report can be considered once the staff report is adopted. Assumptions, outside knowledge, or personal evidence or experiences should not be included in any discussion. Individuals who engage in disruptive behavior that impedes official business will be asked to stop being disruptive or leave the meeting. Additional measures may be taken to have disruptive individuals removed if their continued presence poses a safety risk to the other persons in the room or makes it impossible to continue the meeting. For the record, there is one case being held this morning, and that person is late due to a traffic crash on the interstate. We will be holding that case in due time today, but we've decided to move forward with the meeting agenda, and we'll hear that case afterwards. So at that point, Juan, I'll have you take roll call.
When I call on you, please state your name and who you represent for the record. We'll start with you, Chair Fletcher.
Mike Fletcher, Oregon Emergency Management, representing Oregon APCO-NENA.
And then online, we have member Antoine.
Rosa Antoine, representing APCO-NENA.
Member Ash.
Travis Ash, representing Oregon State Sheriff's Association.
Member Bell.
I'm Chief Gary Bell, LeGrand Police Department, representing Oregon Association Chiefs of Police.
Member Fisher.
Katie Fisher, representing Telecom.
Member Juarez.
Noah Wattis, also representing Telecom.
Member Martin.
Greg Martin, public member.
And Member Piercy.
Dave Piercy, representing Oregon State Police.
And now for staff introductions, Juan Lopez, Executive Assistant, DPSSD.
Erica Riddell, Criminal Justice Support Specialist, DPSSD. Jennifer Lavario, Professional Standards Compliance Coordinator for DPSSD. Anthony Hanifine, DPSSD. Marie Atwood, DPSSD. Jennifer Howell, DPSSD.
Ben Hamilton, BPSSD.
Kathy Fink, DPSSD. Cindy Park, DPSSD.
Thank you very much. Next up is approval of the meeting minutes from August 6th, 2025. This is looking for consensus. If everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes, if there's need for any edits, please make that known. Otherwise, I'm looking for consensus, thumbs up, or any changes to the minutes. Have a thumbs up in the room. 2. Looks like we have consensus. Meeting minutes are approved. So I think at that point, is there any other business that we can accomplish here?
This is Marie Atwood for the record. Item number 4 on today's agenda is nominations for the Applicant Review Committee. Will be, I should say, on November 20th of this year, a vacancy on the Applicant Review Committee for the position that is currently held by Chair Fletcher. You've spent 1 year term of your available 2 terms, so you are eligible for a second term. If anyone would like to nominate Chair Fletcher or anyone else for the Telecom Policy Committee position on ARC, now would be the time to do that.
Member Antoine, I nominate Chair Fletcher for a second term.
Dave Piercy, second that nomination.
Been moved in second to nominate me to committee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
All right, we are voting on a motion to nominate Chair Fletcher to the applicant review committee. Chair Fletcher,
Aye.
committee member Antoine,
Aye.
committee member Ash.
Aye.
Committee member Bell,
Aye.
committee member Fisher,
Aye.
committee member Juarez,
Aye.
committee member Martin,
Aye.
and committee member Piercy.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you very much. Any other agency updates we could accomplish?
Catherine Calpine, Deputy Director for the record. On behalf of the director who is at the Medford Public Safety meeting, so had a good travel. I'll just give you updates. Obviously, top of mind, as we've been telling most committees, is the statewide budget reduction exercise that every state agency has had to do. We've completed ours, submitted it to the CFO, and now finally on with the LFO for the, I think, January, February session. It's for an agency our size to do a 2.5 and a 5 would have significant impacts both to the agency and thus to our constituents. So we are on, like every other agency, on standby mode to see what, if any, impacts that we have. And again, still trying to focus on quality and safety of the programs that we provide. So stand by on what that looks like for anybody. Also, at this time, for the next several months, we are pretty much busting at the seams. We're running 4 police academies with the corrections. We have a kind of a modified 20 classes, all PPB officers. And then we have a full 45 class for OSP, and then of course our other basic police. Then we have corrections, and we just finished telecom. So it is full, but at the same time, a lot is happening. And I think that, unless there's any questions by anybody, happy to answer it. That concludes our updates.
Mark, for the record, I have a question, and I don't know if you're the one to answer it, but back when I served on the policy committee before, we had to do like respectful workplace training online. Is there anything in 2026 we are expected to complete like that?
Yes. You will still have your annual discrimination harassment workplace notifications through Workday. And I know, Member Martin, that you are usually not connected, so we'll have to look and see for you when that's due.
Okay, I don't have a
I'll turn
problem.
it over to Director Atwood on how we might communicate, but
I can
that
come
is
in here to
still-
do it.
okay, thank you.
Yes.
That's great to hear. Marie Atwood for the record. We will be, in communication at the beginning of the year with members of the policy committees and board with any updates or essential trainings that are to be required.
Thank you.
Any other things?
The only other update we have on the professional standards side of things, I guess at least since our last time that we met for the policy committee, is that we have 2 work groups that have kicked off or are in the process of kicking off. The one in particular that's of relevance to this group would be our moral fitness work group. We are doing a ton of work on correcting, clarifying, and amending some of our Oregon administrative rules that pertain to professional standards for public safety professionals, including those in telecom. So as that work group kind of finalizes a lot of its processes, we will be probably doing a presentation regarding any permit updates in the upcoming quarter. That's all I have. Anything from you, Kathy?
I could give an update.
Go ahead.
Kathy, thank you for the record. As Kathy McAlpine mentioned, telecom just finished up in October. Our next class starts in December. At the previous meeting, I talked about a change we were making involving coordinating telecom training in the village with some basic police. We've ran 3 classes through that. It's very successful. Really good feedback from all the students on both sides about things they were learning, and just kind of that advantage point of being able to see live some of the things that were happening and training together. And so we have just made a change to the future telecom coordinate or the telecom calendar to include kind of a forced layover to match up correctly with basic police classes training, because a couple of these we had to modify a little bit. They didn't quite align correctly. So we've done that so that this can be kind of a permanent step in our training program. Beyond that, we're currently looking at some additional ways to filter in more call taking practice here at the academy. A lot of it has to do with how much volunteer staff or training staff we can have on site for that. So we're looking at maybe some technology programs as well that we can incorporate into that. Making some curriculum updates due to feedback from instructors and students from our last curriculum, which was put together in 2019. And then finally, EMD curriculum has long since needed a very deep dive look. And my understanding through our Center for Policing Excellence is we are the next program to be moving forward with some heavy lift updates. So looking forward to getting a date on that from them. Questions?
Done. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. And at this point, I think we're going to pause. So we will pause the recording, I believe, at this point.
Well, I'll just pause the stream.
Okay, very good. We will be back shortly.
would like to start?
Are we ready? Start.
I believe so.
Everyone here? Jennifer?
But she's arriving, or her support person is arriving now, so Juan's gonna go and collect them and bring them.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
Okay, thank you.
Hello?
It's like on speaker. Oh, sure. No. I see.
And we have all the committee members back. That's awesome. And we are recording?
Yes.
Very good. Right. Good morning again, everyone. It's 9:41. We're reconvening. And at this point, we are conducting a professional standard case review of Kathleen Williams. And I will turn it over to Jennifer Lavario.
Thank you, Chair. Jennifer Lavario for the record. Case before the committee today, Donna Kathleen Williams, that was just mentioned. I do want to correct the record before we go forward. The ineligibility start date in your report packets is incorrect and should reflect the date of the board's review, which will be January 22nd of 2026. That has been corrected here, it's just not corrected in your packet. Okay, so the department opened a professional standards review after discovering past criminal disposition when Kathleen Williams was applying for intermediate and advanced CPSST certification. This criminal disposition had not been previously reviewed by DPSST nor reported until Ms. Williams applied for upper level certification. On July 13, 2008, Ms. Williams was pulled over for erratic driving, resulting in a driving under the influence investigation. During this investigation, Ms. Williams submitted a breath test that measured 0.14% blood alcohol content. On July 18, 2008, Ms. Williams was charged, pled guilty to, and was convicted of driving under the influence in Clark County, Washington District Court. Ms. Williams has been employed with the Portland Bureau of Emergency Communications since 2003. Was employed at the time of this incident and is currently employed with them. Department's review determined that Ms. Williams violated the board's moral fitness standards for misconduct. Ms. Williams engaged in misconduct when she pled guilty to and was convicted of driving under the influence in 2008, a criminal disposition as defined in Oregon Administrative Rule. Thank you. Chair.
Thank you. Again, Ms. Williams, thanks for being here. It was a challenge getting here, I understand. So at this point, you have an opportunity to address the committee. There are some rules for the committee members to remind everyone, this is just Ms. Williams' time. There's no opportunity for questions or comments. You have 5 minutes, and Erica is the official timekeeper there, and she'll set the clock, and when you're ready, you may begin.
Okay, hi. I apologize for being late. It was a little bit challenging getting here. My name is Kate Williams and I work for the Bureau of Emergency Communications in Portland. I've been employed there since January of 2003 as a dispatcher. On July 13th of 2008, I did make a serious mistake. I was pulled over for drunk driving in Clark County, Washington on I-5. I did plead guilty. I was unable to do a diversion due to my work schedule. I worked nights and weekends at the time. I was pretty low in seniority at the time. We had about 100 dispatchers that worked there, and I was pretty low in seniority. So I was unable to do a diversion. I think it required 3 or 4 weekends, so I was unable to get that time off. So I did plead guilty. So I was able to do quite a few classes. I paid a fine, did some classes, and went through a drug and alcohol review assessment. I had a interlock ignition device put in my car for a short period of time. I went to a victims impact panel, and I was assigned to go to a 24-hour, I believe they call it a Dewey jail, which in Clark County, they don't take you to jail when you are arrested. You go and are assigned this Dewey jail for 24 hours, and you go to a 8 or a 10-hour class during the day, and learn all sorts of things about being on probation and the cost of your drunk driving ticket, or how much it cost you overall for the ticket and your offense, and in the long run, how much that affects your life. And you do spend the night there. I was able to complete all of the terms of my ticket and the conditions of the court. I was on probation for 5 years. I have not had any other tickets or offenses since that time. I continue to work for BOEC, and I have applied for my intermediate and advanced certifications. And as Jennifer said, in that process, I was required to fill out the form indicating that I was charged and convicted of this crime. So that's why I'm here. And I wish to continue working as a dispatcher. I have about 6 years left and want to continue my work in public service. I'm also a volunteer with TIP, Trauma Intervention Programs of the Pacific Northwest. I've done that for about 10 years. We go out and we help citizens who have experienced a death in the family until another family member can get there. And we help them for a couple hours, usually with short-term intermediate problems like finding a funeral home, things like that, until a family member can get there. In the meantime, I do that about 1 weekend every 6 weeks from Friday night to Monday morning. As I have gained seniority at BOEC, I'm able to do that since I now have weekends off. I love my job. I've been there almost 23 years. I am a full-time coach. I've recently gained a brand new trainee who spent just recently 3 weeks here. And I enjoy doing that and trying to teach them the ways of becoming working for the public and helping people. And I believe that's, my time is up. Thank you.
Thank you. So, for the committee at this time, sorry, Mike Fletcher for the record, at this time, we're going to look for consensus to adopt the record or return the case, if, the committee seeks additional information. So at this time, I'm looking for consensus, thumbs up, or comments to return. Two thumbs up here. Thank you. And I believe we have consensus to adopt the record as needed or as presented. At this time, we're going to discuss aggravating or mitigating factors. Open up for discussion of the committee members. Please remember to state your name for the record.
Martin for the record. I found two issues. First is 2008 DUI, and the second was not reporting it to DPSST. It was my understanding that at that time, back in 2008, that we pretty much thought the agency would report it, but I find it aggravating that she didn't report it to the agency. And they would have had the opportunity to tell her, hey, you need to report this to DPSST. But the other thing about the agency is they run lead checks on a regular basis. Why didn't they catch this and encourage her to report? So I think it's aggravating that she didn't report it to the agency. You know, she believes she's earned the intermediate and advanced certification. That tells me that she should have known better. It's aggravating that the standard in 2008 was 0.08 for a blood alcohol level. Hers was 0.146, almost double. It is mitigating though that she cooperated with the officer and the courts and followed through with everything. I commend you for being here and addressing us. Thank you for that. And reading your written letter to us as well. So I guess if I was to make a recommendation to take any action, it wouldn't be on the certification, but I would grant intermediate but not advanced. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Any other input from the committee?
Sure, this is Chief Bell for the record. Look, I reviewed the information that we just approved for the record in detail, and the only information that I have, I believe, is mitigating. You know, as unfortunate as it is, the record demonstrates that the agency did not have clear guidelines for reporting at the time that this occurred. It's also unfortunate that they don't have any records to show or any way to really demonstrate how they handled it or would have handled it inside the agency. It appears that their policies were unclear. I do not feel like we can hold her individually accountable for not reporting to her agency if her agency did not have clear operating rules or policies that identified what she was supposed to do. It appears to me, based on the record, that she did exactly what she was supposed to do and on time in terms of the consequence for the DUI. I also find it extremely mitigating, heavily weighted, that these years later, when she applied for advanced certification, that she put that on her application, the criminal history component. And so the only thing I see, as unfortunate as it is, I think the departments, like the department's rules were different then. The agency she worked for, it's unfortunate that they didn't have clear employee rules related to that. But in regards to this particular employee, I find that, I mean, she appears to be a fantastic employee for her agency. She's in a supervisory leadership role. It looks like she's really doing well. I don't find that there's any dishonesty anywhere. And so the only thing I see is mitigating. And I think that it would be really bad form on our part these years later to take any kind of action that would be detrimental to her service, both to her agency and the community she's serving. That's all I have to add.
Thank you, Chief.
Member Juarez, for the record, one, for everything Chief Bell said, I would like to say ditto. I'd like to add some mitigating factors. She had several letters of support from several different areas. One, her agency, they still support her and vouch for her character. She has peers on the floor, some who have worked side by side and some who were trained by her, who vouch for her character. And then she has community members with Tip Northwest who also vouch for her character. And since we as a board are here, sorry, I got some feedback coming through the recording there. Since we're supposed to be looking at moral fitness, I feel like those letters of support are strongly mitigating. And then obviously that we have no reoffense here is a sign of character as well.
Thank you, sir.
Dave Piercy, OSP, for the record. I agree with my last two co-committee members. I see no evidence of dishonesty. The applicant has self-reported this. She did not have to seek these advanced certifications, so she opened herself up to scrutiny by applying for them and volunteered this information at a time after she's had a significant public safety career since the incident, at risk to her reputation. And I agree, she enjoys support from senior leadership at her own agency, who most of us or several of us are familiar with. So I think that's all mitigating information.
Thank you, sir.
Member Antoine, for the record, I want to start with a question. I worked with Kate at BOIC for 8 years. I just recently left in February, so I don't know if I'm allowed to give any statement as far as mitigating or aggravating, or if I need to recuse myself from this case.
You want me to speak to that? Okay. This is Marie Atwood for the record. So the way we typically handle the issue of conflict of interest would be kind of to categorize it in one of two ways. An actual conflict, which is a situation where, for example, someone might have a financial stake in the outcome of a case. If you were someone's current active supervisor, for example, that would be a pretty clear example. The other category would be a perceived conflict of interest. So if anyone either on the committee, the person whose case it is, or in the community might perceive that such a conflict exists, our general practice is to sort of call it out, as you just have done. This to me seems like it would fit in the category of perceived conflict, if any. And so if you believe that you are able to proceed with deliberations in a neutral and non-biased way, we would generally take your discretionary word for that.
Thank you for that. Sorry, Member Antoine, for the record. I don't believe that I have any, that I would be unable to, trying to think of words right now, give an opinion on this. And I think I can be unbiased in all of this. I just didn't want to fail to disclose that, so.
No, thank you so much. We appreciate the disclosure.
And Member Antoine, for the record, still, I don't know. I agree with what Chief Bell said. I think that, yes, she made an unfortunate mistake many years ago. She took responsibility for that mistake, as is demonstrated in all of the material that we have. She, through the statements also from Tip, she's contributing to her community. She's contributing to her agency. And as was pointed out, she disclosed this when applying for upper level certifications. And, you know, I feel like if there was any attempt to be dishonest, she wouldn't have answered that honestly. One of the committee members had pointed out something about LEDS checks. I don't believe that's a thing that we're doing in telecommunications, where we're regularly checking criminal histories of our employees. That happens at the beginning during the hiring process. So there would have been no reason for the agency to go back and find that information after the fact. And as stated in the paperwork, it was unclear what the policies were. BOIC isn't even able to say whether or not it was reported. They can't say it was or wasn't. And so I think in that case, we err on the side of the employee.
Thank you.
Martin, for the record, I already see one ledge check done in 2024. I believe there was others.
Are there any other comments from the committee members?
Another one in 2020. Martin, for the record.
Thank you. Ms. Lavario, do you recall the factors?
Thank you, Chair. Jennifer Lavario for the record. What I have for aggravating is this was a 2008 driving under the influence conviction. That not reporting it to DPSST for one member was aggravating. Also that she perhaps should have known better, and that her blood alcohol content was close to twice the legal limit at the time. For mitigating, I have that she's finished, and this is several members have said the same thing, finished all court obligations. The guidelines has been mentioned for how to report at the time weren't very clear. Therefore, it can't be used against her. She did what she was supposed to do. This is years later, and she, self-reported on her application for advanced certifications that she had this criminal conviction, which opened her up to scrutiny. She's a fantastic employee at all counts. She's involved in training and supervision. There was no dishonesty associated with the case. She has several letters of support, not from her agency, from her peers, and from the community. Also, senior leadership support. There have been no reoffenses since this occurred. And that's what I have.
Martin, for the record, I would add mitigating that she appeared before us in person and with the letter. And I withdraw the not reporting it to the agency because of their unclear policy.
Member Antoine, for the record, I just want to clarify something with Member Martin. You're saying you're seeing somewhere LEDS checks, and I'm trying to figure out if you're looking at the training record. Because if you're noting LEDS recert in 2020 and 2024, that's a recertification training that telecommunicators do for your LEDS access. That's not us checking employees.
For that.
Those have been noted. Thank you. So looking for consensus from the committee that Slovario has recorded the aggravating and mitigating circumstances. Thumbs up in the room. Thumbs up online. Thank you very much. Discussion for moral fitness violations. Opening the discussion to affirm, accept that there were moral, ethical violations, modify, make changes, or negate and remove all. This is a action item. Seeking clarification from the committee to affirm, accept the record as is, modify, or negate.
Martin, for the
I move to accept.
action against certification.
This is Bell for the record. Could you just clarify exactly what you're asking of us right at this moment in time? I know what I personally think we should do, but I want to make sure that that aligns with with the things that you're asking of us.
We're looking for the committee to affirm and accept, staff report and the moral fitness violation categories. So the options are, we're affirming it to accept, modify, or remove.
Member Juarez, I move that we accept it.
Okay,
Member Fisher, I second.
thank you. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Sorry, stepping on lips here.
I just want to
Call
ask,
for the vote.
this is Bell for the record before we vote. I just want to ask a clarifying question. If we do this, if we accept the record, what is the next thing that is going to be asked of us? Are we going to be asked to take any certification action against her?
That is correct. That's the next step, is whether to take action or not.
So I jumped the gun.
Yeah, and that's okay. We're getting there.
Okay, I just want to clarify that if we vote in the affirmative on this, that we still have the option to no action on the certification.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is discussing all the mitigation factors. Ms.
Okay.
Lavario read, we're accepting those or changing those.
All right, we are voting on a motion to affirm the moral fitness violations as presented. Chair Fletcher,
Aye.
Committee Member Antoine,
Aye.
Committee Member Ash,
Aye.
Committee Member Bell,
Aye.
Committee Member Fisher,
Aye.
Committee Member Juarez,
Aye.
Committee Member Martin,
Aye.
and Committee Member Pearson.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. At this point now, the committee makes a decision of whether to take action or no action.
Martin, for the record, again, I make the motion that we take no action against certification.
Is there a second?
Bell,
Member
second.
Thank you. We have a second. Any further discussion? Been moved and seconded. We'll call for the vote.
We are taking a vote on a motion to take no action. Chair Fletcher,
Aye.
Committee Member Antoine,
Aye.
Committee Member Ash,
Aye.
Committee Member Bell,
Aye.
Committee Member Fisher. Was that aye? Sorry.
Sorry about that. Yes, aye.
Committee Member Juarez,
Aye.
Committee Member Martin,
Aye.
and Committee Member Pearson.
Aye.
Motion passed.
So, Ms. Williams, thank you for being here. The committee's not taking any action on your certifications. Go forth and continue to do good work.
Thank you.
Martin, for the record, can I ask a clarifying question? Does the policy committee have any say in the intermediate or advanced certification?
No, that's a agency.
Administrative.
That's an agency decision.
Thank you.
Very well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can go ahead. Thank you so much.
For the rest of the committee, we're closing the meeting. We'll remind everyone our next meeting is being held on February 4th, 2026, 9 a.m. Thank you for your patience this morning. We appreciate it. We adjourn the meeting.
Hey, good job.